Hello again, everybody! Yeah, Zach Attack is here with my TNA Impact Wrestling review for tonight, Thursday, February the 7th, 2013. I'm trying to make this review while watching Bellator at the same time. Bellator is about to begin here as I make this review. Of course, Impact once again emanating from the United Kingdom, Manchester, England, yet again this week. I think like 2 more Impacts in the UK as part of the European tour. My thoughts on tonight's Impact? Pretty okay show tonight. There's some okay wrestling action. Some decent things happening. Not much Ace and Eights happenings. But we did kick off with Ace and Eights. Of course, with its newest members turning their backs on Kurt Angle last week following the Steel Cage main event as part of Open Fight Night. Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe, 2 men that, of course, Angle put his trust and his mentorship with, turned their backs on Angle last week. Like I said, Ace and Eights came out. And Briscoe said the reason why he and Mr. Bischoff did it, specifically why he did it single-handedly, Briscoe orchestrated the plan. It's all about Hulk Hogan. Ace and Eights has been hammering at Hogan all this time, and he tells Hogan, like I said, he is the reason why Wes did what he did. Being told he had to start from the bottom with a gut check match. Of course, he's being a Briscoe. His father is, of course, Jerry Briscoe, famous Briscoe Brothers, WWE Hall of Famer. The guy who kind of helped Hulk Hogan get into wrestling. That's why Wes is like, Hogan, I'm a Briscoe, I should be promoted. I don't have to climb. I like, basically, silver spoon fed. Egotistical son. Same with Garrett. It's kind of weird that both Bischoff and Briscoe are both their dads associated themselves with Hogan and they're turning their backs on Hogan, blah, 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 blah. So there you go. We would see what would happen with 2 members of Ace and Eights, Devon and Doc, what they would do tonight with Sting and Devon's former tag team partner Billy Ray in tonight's Impact main event for the TNA table match. But TNA X Division title is on the line in our very first matchup. Rob Van Dam defending in a triple threat match, 3-way dance, whatever you want to call it, against Kenny King and Zima Iron, 2 egotistical guys who both want this exact same thing, a TNA X Division Championship around their waist. Basically, it was like a double team match, like Zima and Kenny double team on RVD, weakening him. And basically, it was one-on-one between them after they took out RVD for a while. And it was a decent, very action-packed matchup. Being X Division guys, you can expect good action, especially Kenny King and Zima Iron, despite cocky little bastards. They prove it. They walk the talk the talk, and indeed walk the walk with their great athleticism. And RVD kept coming back, but indeed King and Zima fought beneath themselves until midway towards the end of the match, King nailed Zima Iron with his Northern-like suplex. RVD breaks the count with a frog splash, breaking up the count. King laid out. Zima Iron got pinned by RVD. RVD retained the TNA X Division Championship. In a decent matchup, we would have another title match later on in the evening. So there you go, RVD in a decent match victory over Zima Iron and Kenny King. Now, on with our next little impromptu matchup. Jesse, of course, Mr. Spectacular, aka Taylor's boyfriend, was a little mad that he was asked by Brooke Hogan to not get involved in Taylor's match. Basically, he was banned from being in Taylor's corner tonight as Taylor was waiting to take on Brooke Tessmacher. Jesse was very upset about being banned from ringside for that match, so he decided to take it upon himself by having his own little posing contest until James Storm came flying out. Of course, James Storm teamed up with Velvet Sky last week to defeat Taylor and Mr. Spectacular Jesse, with Velvet pinning Taylor and Jesse avoiding the last call super kick. But Storm vowed to do that tonight, which he did in a okay squasher. Jesse tried to fight in this impromptu matchup. Show some okay offense, but indeed, after Cowboy nailed the Eye of the Storm, Jesse felt all woozy. Went all down with the closing time move. And of course, indeed, Storm got it. He got that last call super kick on Jesse. Kicked his teeth in 1, 2, 3, or kick this teeth out, as James would say. As he was going to do 3 things. Drink beer, kick somebody's ass, and kick Jesse's teeth out, which is what he did. As James Storm defeated Jesse in a pump-through matchup. It was okay. That was kind of a squash here, but indeed, Jesse deserved that ass whooping. He's a big douchebag. Not as big as Robbie Eve, who would see later on in the evening. After that matchup between Jesse and James Storm, on with our next matchup, the second title match of the evening with RVD retaining X Division Championship. It was on the tag team titles. Chavo Hernandez taking on Austin Aries and Bobby Roode. Now these two have big egos. And at first, their egos got the best of them. In the early going, they were trying some double team moves, but miscommunication failed between them, and Chavo Hernandez dominated the early going, capping on the mistakes that Aries and Roode did as they were trying for double team moves. One would hit the other, but eventually Roode and Aries solved their differences and teamed up pretty good in the second half of the matchup. But indeed, the problems continued on as Chavo Hernandez was dominating the later half of the match. But indeed, I was trying to think if this was a setup or not. As Chavo Hernandez was dominating the later half of the matchup, Roode walked out on the match. But indeed, Roode came back out of nowhere to distract the referee as Aries low-blowed Hernandez. Basically, Aries and Roode, the strategy was to distract the referee and attack both Chavo and Hernandez when the referee got distracted and pay off that advantage. And that's what happened with referee getting distracted by Roode. Aries getting that low blow, heading off with the DDT by Roode, nailing the 450 splash did Aries on Chavo. 1, 2, 3, yes. New TNA Tag Team Champions, Austin Aries and Bobby Roode. That means Aries is a Triple Crown champion. Aries has won the X Division Championship, one title, and Tag Team title. So, I thought Chavo Hernandez was going to win this match. They've been decent champions. I don't think they've been champions since October, since Bound for Glory. And Roode and Aries still have some. They kind of remind me of Kane and Daniel Bryan, kind of like dysfunctional, but they still win. So if they really put their minds to it and really team up well, they could be a very dominant force in the tag team division. You know, I thought the best heels in TNA is Kaz and Daniels. I think they should be tag team titles eventually because they're great heels. They feed off the crowd's hatred. Same with Roode and Aries. They're two of the best heels in TNA with the exception, like I said, of Kaz and Daniels. So Roode and Aries should make a decent tag team. They really put their minds to it when it comes to the storyline, hatred for each other, at least the brushing of their egos, and indeed putting teamwork first despite some little miscommunications. But when they team up, you saw glimmers of their terrific and successful teamwork tonight. Roode and Aries could be dominant tag team champions. So there you go. Roode and Aries. With, of course, the crowd being 50-50. I heard the crowd chanting, "Let's go, Chavo, Austin Aries." So there you go. New tag team champions, Austin Aries and Bobby Roode. Hate them or love them, they're the champs. Now on to our non-title knockouts match. Tara versus Miss Taskmaster. Tara was, of course, going down a downward spiral as of late. Losing to, of course, Velvet. Getting pinned by Velvet in a tag match, which could set up a possible match between her and Tara at the Lockdown pay-per-view. But the downward spiral continued as, of course, Tara had to fight Miss Taskmaster with her boyfriend Jesse banned for ringside. Indeed, Tara got distracted by her lack of accompaniment as Miss Taskmaster fed off it by dominating the early half of the match. But Tara finally got her head straight and dominated the later half of the matchup. Of course, trying not to repeat myself about the knockouts here, but decent wrestling moves despite Tara getting a little stink face and a little trying to think of the move, trying to name the move, and Tara got her head inside of Miss Tessmacher's coochie area, should I say. Trying to be inappropriate here. Anyway, indeed, Tara tried to fight back, but indeed, Tara tried to take him down with a Hurricanrana, but indeed the Taz Shocker, the finishing move from Taskmaster, got the victory. 1, 2, 3. Tara getting paid by Taskmaster and Velvet within a span of a week. I may smell a triple threat between Tara and Tara and Velvet. Triple threat, possibly. Now that Tazmaka's pinned Tara, so did Velvet. Those two could either face each other for number one contendership or basically let Brooke decide on a triple threat match at Lockdown between Tara, Tazmaka, and Velvet. So here you go. Tazmaka pins the Knockouts champion. Second week in a row, the Knockouts champion gets pinned, whether it's a tag match or a non-title match in this case. Now on our next segment, which involved the winner of the British Boot Camp competition, Rockstar Spud. Weird name, but he's got like the little Rockstar attitude spiked hair and all. He was, of course, being introduced by JB as he was celebrating making his debut, where he didn't wrestle, but he got some action in, as he was celebrating his victory on Boot Camp, making his official first appearance in the Impact Arena. Impact, well, it wasn't Impact Zone, it was, of course, Impact Ring in Manchester's home country. I mentioned the douchebag, Robbie E would make an appearance. Thank God there was no Joey Ryan. Anyway, Robbie E came out saying that you're stealing his spotlight, calling him a midget, blah, 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 blah. And Robbie T, I think, probably, I've been sensing that Robbie T has been mad at Robbie E for a while. I've been kind of thinking he's been making it, going to be progressing into a face turn. I think the face turn was almost complete tonight. As Robbie E felt he was protected by Robbie T, Robbie E, purposely or not, dropped the list, ducking long enough for Rockstar Spud to get a shot in on Robbie E. Inadvertent, purpose or setup or not, Robbie E got his face smashed by Rockstar Spud. So I think Robbie T kind of like inadvertently did that. And of course, fist pumped the Rockstar handle with Rockstar Spud as Robbie E looked on, angry and frustrated. Like I mentioned, I've been sensing the face turn for weeks between Robbie E and Robbie T. With Robbie T turning his back on Robbie E, I think it eventually come. At least it's growing week by week that Robbie T is finally getting sick of the bitch known as Robbie E. And on with our tag team tables match main event. Bully Ray teaming up with Sting, finally getting the trust of Hulk Hogan. Now that he's the son-in-law of Hulk, storyline-wise, and getting reinstated. Gets himself into a tag team tables match, like I mentioned, with Sting against Devon and Doc of Aces and Eights. Sting and Devon got it on quickly. So did Bully Ray getting it on Doc. Well, it was like Devon, Bully Ray, Sting on Doc. And Sting and Bully Ray came out with a vengeance, beating the crap out of Doc and Devon in the early going, dominating the first half of the matchup with angry aggression, avenging weeks and weeks of terror and pain and injuries that Ace and Eight has brought to them and the entire TNA roster, and of course, the Hogans, Brooke and Hulk. As indeed, Devon was getting his butt whipped. Doc and Devon dominated the later half of the matchup, but Sting and Bully Ray indeed came back to double team with the Waza on Devon. And indeed, they brought out the table. And despite numerous attempts, they couldn't get the table in the right position, the right time to make the table break with Devon or Bully Ray's other enemy, Doc, in it. Of course, we saw Knox try to get involved by pulling the table away as Sting was trying to suplex Doc off the top under the table. But indeed, Bully Ray hooked up on Devon and delivered a one-arm spine buster on the table that was finally put into the right position. Devon went through the table, and Bully Ray and Sting gets the victory, with Brooke and Hulk Hogan coming down the ringside to celebrate the victory, as Ace and H was nearly defeated by, of course, Sting and Bully. I know this war ain't over yet, so we'll see what goes down next week. Angle is injured, so we'll probably see Angle in the next couple weeks try to get revenge on his own right for getting his back turned by Gary Bischoff and, of course, Wes Briscoe. So there you go. There's my Impact Wrestling review for tonight. Thank you all very much for watching. It was a decent Impact tonight. Decent okay action, not a lot of bullshit, unlike a certain other show on Monday. Although I did like this past Monday's Raw. But anyway, a little better last week. Like I mentioned in my review. That's, with that in mind, we've been attacked by my review. The review by Zach. Thank you once again for watching, everybody. See you all later. Have a great night. Yeah, thank you very much.